Hello! Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is you're watching this video. Thank you so much for clicking on my channel. My name is Ems and I'm here on YouTube doing beauty content tutorials and reviews from time to time. So today, on this review, we are going to be looking at the DiorSkin Star Foundation. My shade is 031. I feel like this shade is really nice. I am wearing it on my skin today. I'm gonna go through each day and kind of break it down with you little bits about this foundation. So it is definitely a medium coverage foundation with a natural matte finish. I did the 3-day trial, not thinking anything of it. I knew I had originally bought this at Macy's because Sephora didn't carry it. And I just supposed that, you know, department stores still had it. That apparently they're not making this foundation anymore. So I'm really sad. So if you don't really want to watch this, I guess don't. But I was reading and apparently basically the DiorSkin Forever foundation, people are saying it's comparable. It's basically the same thing. There's a Dior Forever like matte foundation and there's a Dior Forever Glow one. So, which is really interesting because this was definitely a natural matte finish. So not totally matte, not glowy, but kind of right in the middle of both of those things. So I guess now you have one that's glowy and one that's more matte, and I'd be very curious to try those, so I just might do that. So I'm sorry guys, that sucks. So you can't get this anyway unless you go to like eBay or Amazon or Overstock. So those are the 3 places I was seeing that still has it, and the price on it was originally $52, which is what the Forever one is currently. And when I looked really quickly on Overstock, it does look like it's like $47 on there. So they actually do have it at a good price if you're looking for it. I don't know if I trust eBay or Amazon vendors because a lot of times it's not like legit stuff. So just throwing that out there. But if you still want to see it because you want to see just a review on a DiorSkin foundation because they still have the DiorSkin line, then keep on watching. We'll get right into the 3-day trials and I will tell you my thoughts and feelings as I go through the days. All right, so this is one light layer on this side of my face, nothing here yet. I think it looks really good. 1:43 p.m. Sorry guys, so many camera issues lately, so I just took pictures. So I'm loving the way this foundation lays. It just looks so nice. My skin looks nice, it looks healthy, it doesn't look cakey, it's beautiful. Hey guys, it's super late at night. I don't even know what time it is. It's 1:03 in the morning. So for 12 hours, this foundation is laying really nicely, actually. I couldn't really ask for more. I mean, it's been 12 hours. The coverage has definitely gone down, but it's been 12 hours, so I am happy with it. Holy moly, if I look like Casper the Friendly Ghost, it's because I'm using mineral sunscreen these days. Oh gosh. Yeah, they weren't messing around when they said there was a white cast. Day 2. Let me go into my day 1 experience as I apply day 2. Let me zoom you in so we can really apply this together. I think I've definitely applied more than I did the previous time, maybe. I don't know. I feel like I went a little nuts because I feel like I look so white. It applies very nicely. I did put quite a bit on. I think I basically used 2 pumps to get this part of my face done with. I think it looks pretty good. So this is obviously the foundation on my face. This side of my face has no foundation. You can still see all my crazy imperfections going on right here. And this looks pale AF, but that's the sunscreen. I mean, don't get me wrong.
My face is white, but not this white.
Things about this foundation that I liked from day 1. It stayed well. It did not patch up even with a mask. However, I did add some light powder around my nose area and most delicate areas where the mask touches a lot. It did pretty damn well. Those are the positives from day one. And this is pretty matte, but it's not like 100% matte. Any foundation that was like matte, 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 I've gotten rid of because it just didn't work for me. So this one, in the big scheme of matte-like finishes, is actually pretty good. It's comfortable. I have no complaints. All right, foundation is on all over my face. It's very comfortable. The coverage is probably medium, just straight down the line to medium coverage. Is a, we'll call it a natural matte finish. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's a natural matte finish where you are not completely matte. You still have some luminosity, but you are, in my opinion, more matte than not matte. I have literally, I think I have 1 day's worth left in this. Quick comment on that, I very rarely finish foundations. Without really realizing it, I must have liked this one a bit because it's gone, baby. So that's good. This is probably a 1.5 years old. So these are all my little full disclosures. I honestly don't remember it looking or feeling any different than it did when I first got it. And clearly I've used it enough where it's gone. So I know for an everyday person that might not mean a lot, but for someone that has an embarrassing amount of foundations, when I finish one, it means I actually kind of reached for it a lot. And if I reached for it a lot, it probably did 2 things. Lasted well and felt comfortable. That's pretty much the 2 requirements for me to reach for a foundation a lot. Well, and obviously that it like looks good. I think that's a general consensus, like that's a normal thing. All right, I'm gonna quit talking because I don't want this video to be 1,000 years long. I know you guys tune out, I get it. This is day 3. Why did I keep doing that? 3. Obviously, you can probably tell I look very, very matte. The foundation is a natural matte foundation, but it normally is definitely more luminous than what's showing up right now. So, but that's what happens when you have to set with powders. A lot of people set with powders on a regular basis. I'm just not used to it. I always try to self-set so that way my semi-lumi foundations stay that way. So for me, it's looking much duller than I would like, but we will see how this foundation survives with a mask on today. Actually, double masked today as I go run and do this COVID test and come home. Maybe this wasn't the best day to do day 3, but I guess I felt comfortable doing day 3 because I haven't really put it through the ringer, the foundation that is. The last 2 times, the first day 1 and day 2 were pretty mild. I haven't done anything extraneous with it on. So we'll see how it goes on day 3. We already know I like it, and we already know from the last 2 wear tests that it's super comfortable on dry skin and that it lays well and that it lasts decently. I guess today will be, does it still last well with chaos around? All right guys, I'll be right back with a final check-in and final conclusion on where this falls on a scale of 1 through 10 on my foundations for dry skin. Hello. So being that this is the 3rd and final day of reviewing this foundation, I figured I would do a midday check-in because it is the last day and because I remembered and because I'm home to do one. All of the above. It is 3:08 p.m. It's been on almost 5 hours, so I think this is a really good check-in time. I've basically been in a mask from the second I left home until I just got home right now. And being that so, I feel like it has held up really, really well. And I did what I could to help the longevity of the foundation especially knowing that I was going to be in a mask for quite a bit today. I let it self-set first. Not everyone has the time to do that because it does take 10 to 15 minutes depending on the foundation. So I let it self-set, and then I set on top of it with powder, and then I kind of let that powder self-set, if you will, and then I went on top of it with all my other powder products, the bronzer, the blush, all of that. So I did help this foundation along in that way, but I felt like it wasn't any type of excessive helping of the foundation. It didn't, what I call, take work. It was just normal steps that you do when you want your makeup to last longer. What I also did earlier, knowing that I was gonna have to set with powder, and you guys know my dry skin, I did put this Welda skin food on. This is extremely moisturizing, and it's a really, really great base for makeup when you have drier skin. So I highly, highly recommend it. It's pretty fantastic. This really helps kind of even that situation out. I think it looks pretty good, to be honest. At first I thought I saw a little bit of patchiness, but I really don't. I actually think it looks kind of fine. My forehead, which you know has very little product on it anyway, but that looks fine. So my conclusion for the 5-hour mark is that it looks pretty darn good. Let's just say if at the beginning of this day, I would call this foundation and the way it was laying and applied and worked with powders and felt on the skin and all that, honestly, I would give this foundation a 10 out of 10 for comfort level, coverage level, and all of the above. No complaints about it at all. Color match was good. It blends good, doesn't oxidate. A lot of good things about this foundation. So it is rolling into a good spot when it comes to the overall foundation review. So I'll check in before bed, probably in another 5 hours, and give you my final thoughts. Right. We have made it to the final review, final thoughts, conclusion. Past 3 days that I've worn it, I've really have enjoyed it. I've enjoyed how my face feels. It doesn't fade in a bad way. Obviously there's a difference from first application till now. I'm blabbing. Let me zoom you in and you guys can check this out with me together. So I'm a little bit shiny and a little bit naturally blushed because we're walking. But honestly, I've been looking at this and looking at this and looking at this, and I am impressed with how well it stayed. Like, my nose is a little bit shiny, but I could tell it still has coverage. It's not patchy, it's not breaking up. I know the lighting in this room is crazy right now, I'm sorry. I really need my light back. But like, I think it looks really good. Like, my skin looks good right now. Like, I have no complaint. I give it a 10 out of 10. The coverage is fantastic. It's a very true medium coverage, and I didn't really build it up too much because I wanted to make sure I had enough for 3 days. But the coverage is phenomenal, and I'm sure that if I wasn't afraid to run out before this whole 3-day series, I could have doubled or even triple layered it to get like full coverage. But even with the light coverage application that I did, it looked really good. The color, which is in shade 31, is really a good shade for me. No complaints there. It's super comfortable. It's just super comfortable. And like, I'm impressed with it today. It held up, and I had my mask on like a lot. In fact, I was double masked today, a lot. And it held up like wonderfully. So like, I just don't have a bad thing to say about this foundation. I'm sad that I'm almost out, but I'm excited that this was such a good foundation. And I'm excited because now I can tell you guys, and you guys can go out and look for this and purchase it if you have dry skin, and if you kind of have the same thing that my skin does, which is it tends to just eat up foundations. I love lighter coverage, dewy foundations, second skin looking type foundations that you can build up a little bit. Like those are my favorite go-tos, but I have the type of skin that does tend to eat foundation. If you have that kind of skin, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm thoroughly impressed with this Dior Star foundation. It is very impressive. If you have any suggestions, please let me know. If you are a dry skin gal or guy out there and these are helpful, but you want more detail or there's certain things I'm not touching on, please let me know. All right, thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. Remember to spread love, not hate. And for God's sakes, vote. If you still need to register to vote, check your state's information and register to vote. Try to get a mail-in ballot because that way you can avoid being there in person because of everything going on still. Please make it an important part of your life, especially if you're young, to get in the habit to take a little bit of time every couple years when there's elections, whether they're local or the general elections, the big one for president and stuff, to just take some time to do some research and vote for the people that stand with your values and that are gonna make this country better, because I think we have a lot of, sorry to say it, shitty politicians right now, and I look forward to the future. I think the future is going to be good. It's really nice to see young people getting really involved really young, and I hope that means that there is progress coming. All right, guys, thank you so much. Love you. Spread love, not hate. Mwah. Bye.